All right, so I've got a light and some tools set up in here, but I'm on the driver's side and I'm going to show you guys where I want to mount this. So the way I'm thinking about it is it's going to go right there. Let me see if I've got... All right, so the way I'm thinking, it's going to go right in this spot right here. There's a very big spot. I kind of have the brake pedal or the parking brake kind of pushed all the way down. That's what you see here. All right, and so up above this panel right here where your feet would go is where I think you can find a spot for it right up there. Okay, so you can also see there's a hole right there. I think I'll be able to use that as the ground, so that's what I intend on putting the ground into and just mounting that box in that area right there. So it's kind of tight quarters, so I don't know how much filming I'm going to be able to do while I'm doing that, but that's where that's going. And for my screws, so I went to the store and I picked up these M6 1.0 12 millimeter bolts. And you can see that right there, M6 1.0 12 millimeter. And I also got some washers. All right. The reason why I got this bolt size is because number one, it fits in that section I just showed you guys up there. And then number two, that's actually also going to enable us to fit over this little guy right here. All right, for the grounding. So this wire goes to the harness and that will ground our unit. So that is why we went with this. So now I'm just going to clean this up there with some alcohol wipes. And then after I clean it, I should be able to stick this on up there, fasten the ground wire, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like at that point. But just to give you guys orientation, this is that airbag that's underneath that steering wheel column up here. And here's your brake pedals. So up here there's this plastic panel over here. So it's sturdy enough that I think I should be able to just put some double-sided tape on this and then just tuck it up underneath that. And then it's going to be nice and out of the way. So you can see, you don't even see it now. So I think I'm going to put it up there and either put some double-sided tape so that it sticks up there, or put it well, you can also mount it on this side here so that it's just exposed. But I figured, you know what, there's this empty spot up there, I'll just use that. So I'm going to put that up there, and then I routed the wires up above that, and you can see the wire dropping over here, and that's that white plug that's going to plug into my white plug in my car, which is right there. So you can see in my 2020 here, it's just exposed right there. I didn't have to do anything to dig it up, but that's the cable right here that's exposed. And I would then just plug in this connector, and in this fashion, just like that. And it's kind of tricky. There's not a whole lot of room down there, so you're gonna need to, there we go. So that's clipped in right there. And then for the ground, you can see that over there. I just have it fastened in there using that M6 1.0 12 millimeter bolt, and that was the perfect size for that. So that's all set up. Now I'm just going to zip tie it to get it out of the way, because it's still just kind of dangling here, and there's all sorts of, you know, the brake, the parking brake is on here, so I just want it out of the way. So I'll brace it or kind of zip tie it along the way somewhere. So it just kind of routes up above this section and goes all the way up into this section, and so that's how I've got that set up. That's about it. So I'm gonna take this down now and kind of clean up that area over here with some alcohol wipes or some alcohol, and that should allow us to put it up there, and we'll be done with this part of the installation. Alright, so I ended up removing this panel here, and I figured I'd just show you guys what that kind of looks like when that's out. And it takes just one screw to take this out, and then there's just a couple of clips. You see this white one here and another white one on the other end, but this panel is what's usually right up here. So I took that off after removing that screw, and this is what it looks like on the other side. There's not really a nice flat surface where that can mount. You can see this is just a little bit bigger than this section over here, so it won't sit there prettily. So I decided to take out this other panel right here, and that's just a pull panel, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So that's this panel right here, and it just pulls out. There's nothing to it, so that just kind of pops out. It's held in by these two yellow bits right here, and it just kind of literally pulls out. So I took that out to see if there's any room underneath here, but again, there's not a lot of room to do that with. I can stick it perhaps to the back of this panel right here, but again, there's not really any nice flat areas on this panel either, so that would not be ideal. So I am still searching here to see where this thing can go, but again, just up here may end up being it on top of that first panel that I showed you guys, but I don't know how that's gonna work out. I just don't want it rattling. That's one thing about it, and I want it nice and secure, and I want it in a place where I don't take it for service and then they try to remove a panel and that just falls out, or it's in an unfortunate position just for the work that needs to be done. So that's why I'm still kind of trying to decide where it's gonna go. So I'll keep working on it. It's kind of dark outside now, but I'll just try to show you guys this. So this is the way I have it set up. So I've got the unit itself in this panel right here, and you can see the wires coming in right here, and the route above everything in here, and you can see them coming around over here, and I kind of have some electrical tape put in right there where it may rub against that metal right there, which is next to the foot brake right here. It doesn't make contact at all when I action this. So I think that's gonna be fine right there. And I've got it grounded in that same position over there. And then I have that white portion plugged in right there. I think that's gonna be pretty secure. There's not a lot of space underneath here, so that was the best I was able to do. I'm sure if you were to take down a few more panels, you could find some places to put this. But that is what I was able to do with mine. And so I'm gonna put this panel back here, and you can see I've wired that is coming out right there. So I just have to put that switch in there, and that'll be good as well. And that cable just kind of runs above here in this section right here. And what I'm going to do is, so you probably can't see it, but that cable runs, well, this is it right here. So it just kind of runs through here and then goes up into this section right here. This is it, and then it comes out of the top right there. So that is the idea. So now I'm just going to put that panel back up here and yeah, close it up. All right, so now we just have to plug this part in. So I'll grab my switch here that I've already kind of assembled, and then I'm going to plug this into the back of it. Just like that. Then I'll just kind of feed this back into this hole. All right. And you can already see it's kind of glowing. Let me turn this light off. But you can see it glowing right there when I push it in. So it's receiving power already, so that's good. I'm going to turn it down to 0 here. So turn this light on. So that's about it for right now. I'm going to complete this sometime during the day tomorrow so I can actually film the rest of it and show you guys. Hey guys, welcome to day number 2 of the installation, and not because it took 2 days to install this, I just kind of ran out of daylight and I tried to shoot it in the dark and then it just didn't look that great. So redoing this just to kind of do a walkthrough and show you guys exactly how it ended up being. Some notes on doing this yourself and some challenges you may face. Tight quarters, not a lot of room in these Lexuses, and especially trying to work underneath the dash. I found myself one time, my feet were up here where my head is right now, and my head was, you know, underneath the dash trying to get this installed. So if you're not very mobile, that can get a little challenging. There's probably different places to mount it, so depending on how you want to mount it, it may get pretty interesting for you. But the beauty of this trailer brake controller is that it doesn't have to be mounted in any particular orientation. You know, it goes upside down, it goes right side up, whatever. So that's the nice thing about it. So you can put it just about anywhere in your vehicle. You are limited to the connection, which is about, I don't know, 2 feet, 3 feet of wire maybe. So that's actually maybe 2 feet of wire is what it is. So you're limited by that, and that kind of determines where you're going to put it generally. So it's not like you can put it on the passenger side and route it all the way across. They do have extra lengths or non-standard length of wires or harnesses for it, so you can always do that as well. But otherwise, besides that, installation is pretty simple. You find a spot, you put it in that spot, and you plug it into your vehicle. This is the 2020 Lexus GX460, and the white plug you plug in the trailer brake controller to is just underneath your dash. You just find it and plug that in. The ground, I guess, is a little bit more interesting. You got to find a place to kind of screw in the ground. But besides that, but again, with that, I just found a screw hole that was already underneath there, so I bought some bolts and screwed that in, and you know, I talked about this earlier in the video or yesterday, and that was it. So pretty easy as far as the installations go, and I'm happy with it right now. Next video we'll go through kind of showing you what it looks like on a trailer. It'll calibrate. You don't need to plug a trailer in to have it calibrated. It's going to calibrate no matter what. But if you've got a trailer on there, you can actually see some fancy lighting as it calibrates. And I'll try to show you guys that sometime. But just getting it installed, it won't seem like it's installed because there's no lights in it unless you push the button down and hold it. And then you'll kind of see it breathing blue, like a slow, steady blue flash, and that tells you that it's at least receiving power and it's connected. So I've got that going for me. If it's got a trailer connected to it, then it would be either solid green or solid blue, depending on whether you've got what mode you've got it set up to, because it does proportional braking, and it does what's the second one, manual braking, where you actually set up what force you want it to use. So that is about everything, and we'll go through all these modes in another video. I just didn't want to make this long. This is an installation video. We'll talk through the rest of it and everything else in another video, but for right now, this is about it, and we'll flip it around here and kind of show you guys what it looks like. So here we are on the driver's side of the vehicle, and you can see this is the brake pad, the gas pedal, and what I did here, I ended up removing 2 panels. So there's a panel here, and it's just one screw that holds it in place. So I took that screw out, and then there are a couple of clips over here and over there, and then this just kind of comes out, and it's a whole plastic piece that you see underneath here as well. So it just kind of pulls out. I also pulled out this panel on the right hand side, again gas pedal, and then you just put your finger underneath there, pull it out. There's a clip here and a clip over there, so just a couple of clips. And if you look real careful, you can see some wires coming up from up here, and that is the trailer brake controller. Those wires are then routed up above here. You can't see them because of that plastic panel, but maybe if we put the camera over here, you can kind of see them. And there it is over there with that white wire, and then they kind of go over there. You see that white plug. Let's see if we can get more light in there. but there's a white plug in there that you should be able to see. Probably not so well, but let's see. Okay, now I've got my hand on it. Maybe that'll give it a little bit more visibility right here. So this is the white plug right there, and that's where everything plugs into. And then the ground wire, of course, is that right there. Okay, and I just screwed that in to the body right there, and that's been working just fine. So tight quarters underneath there. That's probably one of the biggest deals to getting this done, but it's a nice clean installation. You can't really see it. And one of the cool things about that trailer brake controller is that it can be mounted in any orientation, upside down, forward side up, downside up, or whatever. It just doesn't matter. So it'll calibrate itself as you're driving. It takes about, I don't know what it says, 20 brake inputs or something like that while you're going down the highway, and it kind of calibrates itself. All right, so that is cool. And then if we come up here, you can see where this is set up right here. So if I push that button, you can see it kind of glow. And if I hold this button, it kind of pulses. So that's actually because there's no trailer plugged in right now, but that tells you at least that it's getting power and that it is set up correctly. So that is that. And right now it's on the 0 position. I can turn it and take it all the way to the 10 position, but that's how that part of it is set up. I'm going to hook up a trailer in another video and kind of show you guys how it works and how it gets set up. But for right now, that's it. And I think it turned out pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't look factory, but it doesn't stick out that much either. And I think this is a very good option for a nice clean look in your Lexus.